In this live martial arts class, you'll discover how to use the Kali, Escrima, or Arnis sticks. Call them whatever you want. I'm gonna call them Kali sticks. Put one in each hand. You need a little bit to come out here on the small side of your hand. That's to trap, that's to strike. You're gonna warm up, put them back, and let them drop. So they just go back to your shoulders and drop. This is gonna start to move the blood into your shoulders, keeping you safe from injury. It's also gonna build strength and speed, especially when you start to defend yourself or fight with the Kali sticks. So it just goes down and back, stomach up and in, abs tight. Just make sure your feet are below your body. Don't worry too much about your footing. Start to lift your elbows higher. That's gonna give you more range of motion with this basic warm-up move before you get into the hard, fast strikes. When you start to strike and practice fighting with your Kali sticks or your Escrima sticks, your Arnis sticks, you have to be able to move very quickly with a lot of force, power in order to defend yourself, and so you have to properly warm up. Now that you've done this basic warm-up for about a minute, split your arms, and this is again going to increase the range of motion, giving you stronger shoulders, healthier shoulders, faster strikes. Make sure your hand is closed on your stick. Now bring them in, and I want you to drop them to the front, let them go down, behind you, and then forward again. Just a simple outer orbital spin. I'll show you on the right hand, palm goes to the sky, stick goes behind the back and forward. Let me show you from the inside, just down and forward. Notice my hand stays closed. Keep your hand closed. This is easy. This is also wrong. You need that flexibility in the wrist. So you need to keep your fingers closed while you're doing this flexibility move. If you open it, you'll have a fast spin at first, but as soon as you hit something, come flying out of your hand. And if you're learning how to fight with Kali sticks, defend yourself, street fight self-defense, you want to know that you're not going to lose your stick when it runs into a baseball bat, someone's head for self-defense, someone carrying a knife. But you're going to do this to warm up these wrists. Keep your hands closed, elbows close to your body. Just a forward orbital spin for about 30 seconds, and now reverse it. Just pulling it back. 30 seconds there, then bring it to the shoulders again. You're gonna bring it back and in, down and in. Increasing the speed as you warmed up. A little faster, a little deeper. Now, let's get into the strikes. Put one on your shoulder. This is my left hand. I'm going to put that on the shoulder first. Put the right foot in front of the left, make your body smaller. Bring the right one up to your shoulder and strike through. Notice when I strike through, I'm reaching away from me. I don't want to do the strike staying close. If I can, if this is my target, if this is the person who's attacking me, I want to hit them as far away as I can. If they're right here in my face, different technique. I don't want to let them get that close, right? Especially if they have a knife and they're sticking it in me when they're that close. So from here, I want to be able to hard as I can, full power, do that strike. So your first strike is coming through, and notice how tight I keep it into the center line of my body. I'm going to go from temple to cheek. That's my target. I can hit on the neck. I can hit on their shoulder. I can hit, maybe they're grabbing and they got that knife in their hand. You can go through there. But this is the basic angle. And this one you're going to call angle 1. And then from the other side, just the opposite of that is angle 2. If you put your sticks together, you make a V. That's angle 1, angle 2. Angle 1, angle 2. Start at slow at first. Gradually increase how hard you're hitting while you're practicing. This is really important because when you're practicing a martial arts weapon for street fight self-defense, not just for the look of it, not just because it's cool and fun, which it is, all those are side benefits. Those are great side benefits. But martial arts, if it's not practical self-defense, what good is it? Martial art has to be able to teach you how to defend yourself, build that confidence, just give you some basic skills. So when you practice it, if you never get past this level, kind of like an easy strike, and you get into hard as you can, as fast as you can, so that at the end, you're feeling it. You're feeling your hand fighting to maintain control of that stick. Because when you fight to defend yourself, you can't control how fast or slow it goes. You can go faster, but if that other person is intent and they really mean to harm you, then they're coming in at all full speed power, you're gonna have to speed up. You have to learn how to calm down and not slow down. And that means in training right now, after you've warmed up, go full power, full speed, every single strike. Imagine you're trying to end the fight right here, right here. Practice that way. Most people don't. And I've seen it. I've been in the martial arts since I was a kid. And I'm an old git, I'm an old geezer. And I've seen it everywhere I go and I train. And I'm not picking on anybody, but I'm just saying a lot of people never break out of their comfort zone and go all in, kind of ridiculous speed, so that they look sloppy and they're not as smooth as they want to be. That's good. Fight smooth in practice, but then get super unsmooth, get ugly. Self-defense is not pretty. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's going to be ugly because speed, power, you're going all in. So allow yourself to feel uncomfortable, to feel less than perfect in practice. Once you get that, angle one, angle two, 1, 2, switch your feet, same thing. Start nice and easy. Make sure you're going again through the center line. It's gonna be super tight. You're gonna fight from behind your sticks, right? Fight from behind the collie sticks, which means not like out here. See how wide this is? That's no good. I want these sticks between me and you, me and the threat. This is my threat. I'm gonna fight with the sticks between me and the threat. So if they come any closer, they've got to run into my stick. That's what I want you to do. Keep them tight. Angle 1, angle 2. Make sure your body's a smaller target. You do that. Right now I'm really square. My feet are just directly under my body. When I step in or I step back, that turns my shoulders, turns my body. This hard, bony part of my body is between me and the threat. That's what you want, whether your hand's open or you have a weapon in it. You want to make your body smaller. All your targets, your eyes, your nose, your ability to breathe, your ability to see, your ability to hear, your ability to breathe permanently, all your organs, you want to make them protected. You want to get protected. Put your hand between the threat and all your vital spots. That's just a basic rule of martial arts, get in a better position. So with the collie stick, it's here. From here, left hand, 1, angle 2. So think about angle 1 is from the same side of the body. If it's the left hand, so the left side, through to the opposite side. Angle 2 is from the opposite side of the body to the same side that's holding it. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And again, once you get it, start to really push, and you're gonna feel that force come into the hand. You're gonna feel your wrist and your arm fighting to maintain control so it doesn't come flying out. But if you don't feel that, you're not pushing hard enough. And that's gonna increase. Your capacity, your ability to hit harder and faster will grow if you do that training. It's gonna grow really fast in a really short period of time. Even though this is a basic beginner level, you're gonna get really good. And to fight really well, you need to master the basics. So 1, 2, 1, about 30 seconds per hand. Angle 3, palm up, facing the sky. And this is because it's gonna come here, and when it runs into something, like their ribs, like their elbow, like their baseball bat, their stick, their hand that's holding the knife, when it runs into something, it's going to hit resistance here, and it's gonna push against this part, the web of your thumb, and it's not coming out. If you do it wrong and you pull it this way, and it runs into something, it's gonna create pressure here, leverage against your hand, and your hand is gonna lose your stick. And again, you should be able to fight hand to hand, close combat with no stick, no knife, no bow staff, no whatever. But if they have a knife or whatever, they have a weapon, it's better to keep the weapon in your hand. So learn how to practice pulling this way and why. Why is important here. I don't always tell you why it's important. Sometimes just do it, right? But I want you to know why. Make sure your palm is up, comes down, the palm facing the opposite direction, palm down, for the exact same reason. When it runs into something, it's gonna push back into there, If it's the wrong way, I don't even know how you can do it the wrong way. It'll pop out of your hand. So angle 3, angle 4. And just like before, tight through your middle, through that middle line. 3, 4, 3, 4. Yeah, it's ego. We all have ego, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know it. Now that you know it, go back, start again. You'll get there. That's what maturity is. You're not born coming out of your mom's womb knowing everything, wise, smart, kind, honest, hardworking, all that stuff. Those are all disciplines that you learn over time. So when that happens, be okay with it. You're not supposed to be perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I make so many mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the faster you grow. So allow yourself to not be good at it. Allow yourself to realize, oh, I made this mistake. I made the mistake of arrogance. Oh, I made the mistake of ignorance. Oh, I made the mistake of laziness. Oh, I mean, whatever it is, that's okay. We're all doing it. I'm doing it all the time. You never grow out of it. The only time you grow out of it is when you get really comfortable in life. You just watch TV all day, you sleep all night, you work all day, and you don't do anything new at your job. You watch the same garbage on TV every night, and you sleep and you have the same crappy dreams, right? That means you're just comfortable and you're just waiting to die, right? But when you get out there and you start making mistakes, you put your foot in your mouth, you say the wrong thing, you show your, as some people say, you show your bum, your anger or whatever, that's when you grow. As long as you're smart enough and get your ego out of the way and say, you know what, I made a mistake. Let me learn it a different way. Let me listen again. Let me say that again because I don't think I heard it right. But you have to start doing that, especially if you want to be a good martial artist. So 1, 2, we put them together, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me change the camera a little. I've been playing around with this wide angle lens so you can see more of the action, but it doesn't always go low enough. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and faster, and faster, and faster. Other side, same thing, 30 seconds. All 4 of the first basic angles. Let me show you 5 and 6, because at some point, I'm gonna have to cut this off and we're going to the beach. It's nice and hot down there in the water. It's green flag. If you know what that means the little kids, I got little kids, they can play in the surf, pick up the shells. 4 and 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I just made a mistake. I gave it the wrong numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're gonna come straight down over the top. Are there more angles? Yeah, there's like an unlimited number. There are more techniques. All kinds of techniques that you can do. You can do it in and back, in and back. But I want you to get the basics first so you can defend yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Switch feet. 1, make yourself a smaller target. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Fast like that. Then, if you have a bag, straight down on top. If you don't have a bag, don't hit the bag. Maybe you have, and this is another bag, I know that, but let's say this is a tree. You don't want to destroy the tree, especially if it's a living tree. But if you can wrap it with rags, or maybe you have some padding, I don't know what you wrap it with. You have something to wrap it with, same thing. Or maybe a pole in the car park, or the garage, or in the basement. I always wrap the poles in the buildings that I own. The big martial arts school, there's 2 floors, and there's a pole downstairs and a pole upstairs. I just wrap them with old mats. You just slice them with a knife, and you duct tape them on really well. And after a while, the duct tape gets ripped up or whatever. Hello, but you have then something to practice with when you don't have a partner. Now, when you have a partner, you can practice striking your sticks together. And then you can practice timing and distance and all that. But a lot of us right now, with the shutdown, schools are closed. They just shut California again. So we're losing our partners again, right? But you can still train. If you have nothing, go through, use a mirror, and just work on keeping it super tight in the middle of your body. Now let me say something about height and distance. Yeah, do that. The strike, we talk about targets all the time. Self-defense principles are situational awareness, what's happening right now around me, close and far, who's across the street that might cross the street. Maybe I'm walking this way, who might be hanging around the corner. Pay attention, that's self-defense number one. Number two, get in a better position, right? With the collie sticks, we talked about this. If I don't have collie sticks, my hands between me and you, and I'm interrupting your line of sight so you can't see me. But that's very important. Position, make your body smaller. Either step back or step forward. I like to step in because it's more disruptive to you, but it's a little bit higher technique, right? Yeah, well, it does too. And so you have, but this is a special technique. And this is really more about practice than it is about defending yourself. If you really need to defend yourself, the last thing you want is complexity, okay? And here's what I mean by that. Aikido, good morning. Aikido is a very complex martial art. It's very beautiful to watch. We call it esoteric. So it's like, has complexity and interest, and there's a lot of history behind it, and philosophy. We call it aesthetic. It's pretty to look at. Practical, not so much, right? Kung Fu, esoteric, interesting, lots of theory, lots of philosophy. Aesthetic, especially like Wing Chun, or not Wing Chun, Wushu. Wushu with the acrobatics and the flips and spins and all of those cool chain whips or whip chains and the ball and the sickle and all that kind of cool martial arts. Fun to watch, really pretty, really complex, really unique, but practical self-defense, not so much. Same thing's true with the sinawali. Sinawali looks like, man, I start doing this, you're gonna have a hard time coming in, and then I'm spinning, and this is just one level. I can do the one where I go down, I can change positions, I can go high, low, boom, 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 like this, and then I'm moving all around. And yeah, it looks cool, and you'd be smart to say, well, I'm not gonna step in while he's doing that. You might wait till I wear myself out, which I just did, and then step in, punch him in the jaw, take his sticks. That's how you get your first pair of collie sticks. But practical. You're just like this, you're like, back up. I'll defend myself. We'll say this is the threat again. Stay away from me, you know? Don't come any closer. You're too close. And then, or this one, or down to the leg, or leg face. And so you're not necessarily gonna start your chain. It's like spinning the bow, spinning the martial arts staff. You're like, come on. It's not a lightsaber. You're not Darth Maul, right? But if you had a big collie, or we'll pretend this is the bow, and you're like this, back up. Now you got a big stick between you and them. You wait, timing and distance, especially if you're older and you're not as strong, and maybe there are 2 or 3 of them. You don't want to get distracted by, showing yourself off. You stand there, he gets too close, bam, pop him right in the throat. Pop him here, smash that guy there, maybe that guy right in the side of the head. That's how you do self-defense with a weapon, self-defense. Better position. What are my targets? I'm gonna remove his ability to see me, his ability to breathe temporarily, because I'm gonna smash his nose and the blood comes out, and he's sucking down his own blood. His ability to breathe permanently, because I'm gonna go in. Remember I said this is a technique, and this is a technique that goes in through the throat, into the eye, smashing him right in the middle, right? Maybe it's take his arm away, break that upper arm, smash the elbow, his hand's coming in, reaching to grab me, he's got a knife in it, and I smash it. But this, which I'm gonna show you, because I want you to know how to do it, this is part of the training. Sinawali means weaving, is to disguise repetition. This allows you to do lots of strikes during your training, start to move your feet, go high, you can go down on a knee. I don't know if I'll still be here, if you'll see me, there we go. I'm on my back, I'm practicing, and then learn how to get back up without using your hands, turning, and then changing patterns, right? And then changing pattern. That's what the sinawali's for. and it looks really cool. If you've ever been to a martial arts demonstration, and you see the Escrima Arnis guys, and they use machetes, put on the goggles, because the sparks are flying. And then they're fighting with the machetes, and everybody's like, ooh, ah, whoa, so deadly and so cool. Well, not really. Just really, it's like breaking boards at our demonstrations. Or I put the blindfold on, I throw up the apple, and then I spin hook kick it, and kick it out of the air, and it splashes into applesauce. Yeah, really cool. Everybody's like, whoa. But in a fight, if I'm gonna throw a wheel kick, my opponent better be slower than me and better not know how to counter that. If I'm fighting somebody who is experienced, I'm never throwing a wheel kick, right? Especially now that I'm old. But the reason is because one is flashy and for fun, and the other is practical for self-defense. So understand both. Having said all that, let me show you this. We're going back up, hold on. I don't know what all the F is. Crusader of Memes, what a great name. I'm being facetious. F stands for facetious. All right. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, I wouldn't be too, yeah, oh, I'm sure. Yeah, well, like one guy holds the sword and they put the apple on, the other guy kicks. Yeah, I could picture that. I could picture somebody severely cutting their toes. Most of those swords are, if they're smart, it's not that sharp. It's all about distance, right? And if they haven't practiced enough, this is the biggest reason that most guys hurt themselves at demos. They don't practice it. Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm sure. Spin, hook kick, catches it with his toes. Oh, okay, cool. So he throws it up and spin and kick. I don't know, I can't picture how he would do that, but I'm sure you're right. Anyway, the more you practice, and then you get in front of people and your heart's racing, because, you know, that's normal for your heart to be racing. You're always gonna make mistakes. So make sure, yeah, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. I have no criticism about any of those things. They're all fun to learn. They're all fun to do. But when you and I are working together, I always want you to know what is gonna be super practical for self-defense. Yeah, that's all right. I don't know why you'd be putting all the F's, but whatever. No offense, man, I don't care. You know, knock yourself out. All right. Yeah, I do try to. But if you notice I'm getting old, I gotta go like this and look down under my glasses. That's why I try not to do it too much. Anyway, sinawali. Let me focus. I'm gonna have you start here on your shoulders and bring your right hand forward, and then your left hand is gonna cross it. Start over. 1, 2, start over. This is how you do it. You do it here, and then you start over a couple times. And the reason is you're training your brain to see the pattern. So you're gonna go right hand, left hand, your arms cross. This is angle 1. Remember, this is angle 1 on the left hand, angle 1 on the right, angle 1 on the left. So I do angle 1, and then, see, I just kind of pull it back a little, angle 2 on the first hand, angle 2 on the second hand. Yeah, that's all we're doing. It's good to see you, Wilson. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 1, angle 2, angle 2. My hands are now uncrossed. Cross your arms, and then uncross your arms with the second angle strike. Angle 1, angle 1, angle 2, angle 2. That's basically sinawali. Sinawali is weaving or braiding, whatever you want to think about, or whatever word makes most sense to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then since the right hand's back, it comes over the top. 2, 3, and then over the top. 3, good morning. 2, 3. And now you're doing the most basic sinawali pattern. And this is all angle 1s and angle 2s, right? We'll start over. Right hand, angle 1, left hand, angle 1. Right hand, angle 2, left hand, angle 2. I leave the left one there. I bring the right one over. They're crossed again. Angle 2, angle 2, angle 1, angle 1, angle 2, angle 2. Or something like that. You get the picture, right? And that's all it is if you do it on the bag. And when you practice, and I don't always do this, and if you watch some of my videos, you'll see for a fact that I am not perfect. And that I make lots of mistakes, and that I forget my own rules, just like every other instructor does. That's why you should never put your martial arts instructor on a pedestal. And I've been in this industry so long to so many schools. And when I see a martial arts school where that instructor allows his or her students to treat them like some kind of deity or God or some kind of fancy guru who is perfect, they're just setting themselves up for a horrible fall, because none of us are perfect. I've never met anybody in this human existence who doesn't make mistakes. And it's the making mistakes that makes you better, gives you more texture in your life, but also gives you more wisdom to help other people who are flawed, and we're all making mistakes. But if you put yourself on a pedestal and you let your students do that, if you're the master, guru, sensei, sifu, sabum, Kwangjang Nim, whatever you want to call yourself, then you've wrecked your life. You ruined yourself, because you're going to make mistakes. Your students are going to find out, and they're going to lose respect. But if you let your students know from the start, I make all the mistakes in the world. I'll make more mistakes than you do, because I'm still growing, and you better still be growing if you're a martial artist. Because as soon as you don't, you get crotchety, old, and all your techniques just become big lies, like your belly. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You go into the martial arts school, and the belly's out to here. And the guy's got trophies from when he was 18 or 22, 18 to 24. That was maybe 14, maybe he started a little bit younger. And then he's up there, 14 to 24. Those were his prime years. Now he's 56. His belly comes out to here. And he's just like the football player. Man, back in high school, I was the thing, you know? And you're like, well, what have you done since? Because I need to learn. You need to learn the stuff at the 14, 18 years old, but he should still be able to say, and you know, you'll never find a trophy in one of my schools, ever. Especially a dusty, dirty, broken one. But some schools, that's all they've got, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not a criticism, that's a lesson. You have a martial arts school, throw those trophies in the dumpster, or better yet, clean them off, donate them to Special Olympics, because they'll take them and they'll put new labels on them, and they'll give them to the kids who are earning it. Give them to the Special Olympics, all your nasty old trophies. Give all your trophies, cups, medals, everything. Special Olympics, they have a good use for them. Then go earn new medals, new trophies, and not at tournaments. In life, pay your bills on time. Be a good husband or mother or father or wife or son or daughter, whatever. Fight the real fight. Learn how to speak up for the truth, and stand up in your neighborhood. Teach kids how to speak up for self-defense in the schools. Teach kids that they don't have to be picked on, or whatever it is. Adults, whatever your market is. But don't stop training. That's why I like the jiu-jitsu guys, the legit BJJ guys, even though they might have a bit of a big ego, which is fine because they earned it, right? Those guys are still on the mat, rolling around with their nasty cauliflower ear and their busted ACL ligament, but they're out there doing it, and their arms hurt and their wrists hurt. I love BJJ for the guys for that, because they walk the talk, man, and that's what you got to do in martial arts. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Basic sinawali. Let me show you 3 versions, 3 variations of that. This is the most basic. Cross the arms, uncross. See how I'm changing or alternating which hand is on top? And again, it's angle 1, angle 1, angle 2, angle 2. And then the next time, cross the other way. Angle 2, angle, or what, you know what I mean? 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. It's like walking. You have a left foot and a right foot. You can only go so far with one foot before the other one has to go if you're moving forward or back. Now, from here, this is called the chambered position. Both sticks are on one side of the body. Your right hand is on your right shoulder. Your left hand is on your right ribs. Both on the same side of the body. Elbow in, keep it tight, and you're gonna go angle 1 and over. Now this is the V, right? You said V earlier. This is the V method. This is just the next level. This doesn't take the V as much, right? It is the V, but this is a little bit higher level. From here, down, and up. And remember I said there are 2 kinds of strikes. There's one where you go through, and there's one where you hit and you pull back. But when you hit and you pull back, make sure it's a committed hit, that you would go through your target when you hit. But you're gonna come in, and see this? I always wanna fight from behind my stick. And then it's gonna come back to the opposite shoulder. So from the chamber, and anytime you get lost, come back to the chamber. 1, and then the other shoulder, and then angle 2, Remember I said it comes from the opposite side. Angle 2 with the left and over. 1, 1, 2, 1. And so now what I'm doing is the same thing you just learned, but I'm doing it from a deeper chambered position, which allows you to fight smarter and better and get strength throughout that range of motion. Now, the next version of that. From here, I bring it over, and instead of angle 2, I'm going to twist or turn my hand over. Turn my hand over. And when you turn your hand over with force and speed, like this, it's a block, it's a deflection. So let's say this is their stick. See how it knocks it out of the way? So they're coming into your head and bam, you knock their stick out of the way. So this is a version. This is the first one. And then here, turn the hand. This is the same. And then you're chambered over here. So now you have 3 strikes instead of 2. 1 strike, 2, 1, 2. It's 2 per side on the first one. On the second one, it's 1, 1, 2, 3. Because from the chamber, there's 2 to start, but there's 3 on each side. So we'll get over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that 3, that turn of the wrist. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But remember again, this confuses you a little bit. From here, it's just 2 to start, but then you're doing 1, 2, 3 per side. Then, version of that, 1, 2. Remember that angle 3 strike? 3 and 4, 3, or wait a minute, 3 and 4, so let's call this angle 4. We have 1 over, this is the same, but then this one comes up this way, 4. And then 1, back to the chamber, 2, and then this comes up, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't come all the way up, it just comes down. And it's like someone's going for your knee, you just block, or maybe you're striking their knee, or striking their hip, or striking their thigh, hit them in that sciatic nerve. So from here, 1, down. Your palm is down, 2, 1. So let's review from the beginning. This is 1, 2, 3. This is the basic level, sinawali. Then you go to the chamber, and then they're all angle 1, angle 2. It's 2 strikes per side. Then you go deflection, deflection. Now you have 3 per side, and then we turn that deflection into a knee strike, or into that angle 4. And I know it's starting to add up, right? And here's where it can get to be too much. I'm going to show you one more. Exactly, and it certainly does. That's why I find using the video camera or a mirror to be just a little bit helpful. For some people it's not. You have to make them face the other way and not watch. But you'll get it. The key is you always get it one way or the other. If you don't quit, you keep moving the same direction. One day you go to sleep, go into that dream state. Your brain has all these new neural pathways carved from the complexity of the move. This is all true. This is how you learn languages. This is how you learn math. This is how you learn everything. The more complex this is, the better it is for your brain. You wake up a couple days later, it becomes easier. Yeah, cool. Back in slow-mo. I love that. The last one. So we had this, and we had this, and this. This was the one we just did. Now I'm going to go 1, and before I bring it over, I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to hit the head, hit the body or the knee, and then I'm going to hit the knee. So it's up, down, down, up, up, down. So this is the beginning, high, low, low, high, and then I'm back in. This is the chamber. Now you're doing 4 per side, and it can become more and more complex from here. There's no limit to the complexity, and the greatest thing is you're building all these new neural pathways in your brain. You're getting smarter, faster, and I guarantee your ability to do languages and math will increase with the ability to do the complexity with the sticks. That's one of the beautiful things about the collie stick. Collie or Arnis, Escrima, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to come 1, down. So this is angle 1, and that's the end of angle 2, right? because 2 is here, I'm just doing it lower. So 1, 2, and then this is angle 4, 4, and that's angle 2. If your brain works like that, my brain doesn't work like that. It took me a long time to figure out the numbering, right? So I go high, low, low, up, and then back into the chamber. And I think of like a V that's kind of broad, a broad V. So broad V, knee. It's just however your brain needs to think about it, do it like that. But go high, low, low, high, high, low, low, high, high, low. And then notice how much I'm turning my body from side to side. And that's to protect all of my vital spots, right? But that also gives me more speed, more power, and you're gonna start to move around. Now using that pole or the tree, or in this case, the Muay Thai bag, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and I can start to circle and circle back. So you can practice moving in one direction, moving the other direction. Kind of traditional way, a lot of guys do it, is they start with the basic pattern, and then they move in a circle, circling to the right. When they make a complete circle, they go back to the left. And then one guy backs up, the other guy goes forward, and then he goes forward, that guy goes back, and then they go down on their knees. One guy's on his knees, and then I think I showed you, I moved the camera so you wouldn't see me. They go all the way on their back, and then they come back up, and then they go into the next pattern. And that's just a fun way to make it a little bit more complex if you're working with a partner. If you don't have a partner, you can still practice it. Practice, just make sure without a partner, you have plenty of time to focus on getting your stick back, getting it back into the chambered position. It's like using the Japanese sword. When you use your sword, you make good technique, and you, at the beginning, when you learn, you go through a full range of motion, right? To the spine, to the spine, to the spine, to the spine, and that, so you're coming all the way back here. Actually, because the sword's longer, you're hitting the crack of your bum. But some guys don't want to do that because they say in their mind, well, that's too, if I come all the way back here, I'm going to be too slow when the guy's fighting me for real. When I get transported back to 1821 in feudal Japan, you see my point? But even in the best kin schools or sword schools, they go through full range of motion. It's like a good boxer goes through a full range of motion, even especially when they're punching. They want to have that length of the punch, bam, 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 right? From there. But then when they get in the boxing ring, they're not doing the, they're going to hit them wherever they are, right? Same thing with a sword. When you start to fight sword or like kendo, you know, and it's like this big, this small of a motion. A little twist, bam, and twist, bam, bam, bam. Same thing's true with the collie sticks. They're not going to be full chambered position, but when you practice it, you want to practice with that full chambered position. So practice that way. Oh, cool. Yeah, my wife is from West Palm too, and I moved her up to Dayton, Ohio, and she preferred down here. So that's why we're down here again. But yeah, I mean, Dayton's not that far from Fort Campbell, right? Kentucky, Indiana, Dayton, we all have about the same gray 9 months out of the year. So maybe one day your wife will convince you, hey, we gotta be by the beach. This school here, one street from the Intercoastal, and then there's Singer Island right there, which is where we're going in about 3 minutes. So thanks so much for watching. Check out the link below. I put a link. I have a new website down there, a new e-commerce store, where you can find about 6 different styles of wooden collie stick, metal collie stick, but also, if you do have someone to train with, they have foam padded collie sticks, and not just like the, you know, the inexpensive nunchuck foam that break really easy. These are like legit, the same as the sword ones that we use in the fighting bow staff. When you hit each other, you're gonna feel it. But you can get a couple pairs of foam so you can practice when you're hitting, and if you know how to do the stripping and taking away, that's a whole nother level, and you can practice that. add a foam knife, not a foam knife, you don't want a trainer, like an aluminum knife, and then practice fighting with knife and collie stick. But you can get all that in the link below if you want to go check that out. If not, no worries. Go to my website. Send me an email, info@quantumstrong.com. Get on the mailing list because I'm going to start sending out more info. And I'm trying to get some other people. Bill Wallace is just down the street here. I'm trying to get Bill Wallace. I think he's teaching from his house. I'm trying to get him to come in here and do a couple seminars for us. If you know who Bill Wallace is, Superfoot. But there are a lot of other great martial arts artists who retire in this area. It's where everybody retired. And I'm trying to get some more people to come in and do some stuff here. I'm going to send all that stuff out on the email distribution list. So info@quantumstrong.com. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the very next one. The next one, I think we're back to the fighting cane. This was supposed to be the fighting cane, but I felt inspired. I was working a lot with the collie sticks this morning with somebody else. And I thought, you know, it's still in me. I still have the taste for it. Let's just do it. And then I'll do, when we get back from the beach, we'll grab the cane and we'll work